Hey everyone, it's Chio, baby, here with another video. I quickly wanted to explain why I created a YouTube channel. So when my niece found out that she was going to get a kidney, she went on YouTube and she looked up videos of others who were going through the same thing, and she looked up other people getting their surgery done, their transplants, and she saw their experience and things like that, and I thought that was awesome. I definitely wanted to do the same for me and her. Obviously she's not the only one going through this, so I want others to see our surgery process and things like that. So yeah, this video quickly is about my process of being a kidney donor. So my niece is 20 years old. She was diagnosed with renal kidney failure when she was 18 years old. So after her getting out of the hospital, they set up a couple appointments in Loma Linda. Loma Linda is located in San Bernardino, California. So my sister knew how much I wanted to be involved, and so she invited me to go with them to the appointment in Loma Linda. So when I went to Loma Linda, the appointment was to give them information of what now, what's the next steps and things like that. And there were a lot of good information. They talk about their finances, also their health insurance. They talk about them being on the waiting list for a kidney, and that's when we found out that our family members can participate if they wanted to apply to be a kidney donor. So we went home, we gave the family the good news. Our family did not hesitate to want to be a part of it, and we're very family oriented through the good, through the bad. We definitely are there for each other. One thing that I do want to say is that they do not just let anybody apply. They are pretty strict. They want you to be as healthy as you can be. You cannot be overweight, you cannot have diabetes, you cannot have high blood pressure, cholesterol, and things like that. So they will deny you like real quick. So my advice to you is that if somebody is going through this and you want to be a donor, first get yourself good, get yourself in good shape and get rid of some health issues. That way you would not get denied on the spot, because I've seen it happen to my sister really quick. My sister is overweight and she did want to donate to my niece, but that did not happen because she was overweight. So that did eliminate a lot of my family members, because they were a bit overweight and some had health issues. So it honestly came down to me and my oldest niece. The application was pretty easy to fill out. They did kind of get into detail, and they did want to know your family's health history. And so once we finished those up, my sister took them to turn them in. And so a couple weeks went by, and I was waiting for a phone call. I was waiting for an email or something like that, and nothing. 2 years went by and nothing. And within those 2 years, I would constantly bug my sister and my niece, and I'd be like, so what's up with this application? Why haven't I gotten called? This and that. But also within those 2 years, there were a lot of things going on. So, once I kind of got fed up, I went with my niece to her dialysis clinic, and I talked to the social worker there, and I asked her, who do I need to contact? Because I didn't know who to call to ask her. Not I would have done it. So I asked her, who do I need to contact to know the status of my application? And she gave me the phone number. I called a couple weeks later, and when I called, I did not get an answer. I left a voicemail. They didn't even get back to me. They took forever. So you know what? I called like 2 more times, and still, finally, I think on the second or the third time she answered, and I said, hey, I'm Rocio. I'm calling because I want to know the status of my application. And she was kind of like, what do you mean? And I thought it was pretty forward of what I was asking for. And I told her, I was like, I'm a donor for my niece, and I sent an application, and I want to know what's the status of it. And she's like, oh, okay. And then the next question was a weird one. She asked me, are you a living donor? And in my head, I was already kind of annoyed because I was like, am I a living donor? Are you kidding me? Yes, I'm calling you right now. Like, I did not understand. I was like, do deceased people call you all the time? Is that why you have to ask this question? So I thought it was pretty funny. I was making jokes after that. And no, the reason is because when there are deceased people, and if they are a donor, they receive their, insights and things like that. So she looks into her computer and she tells me, we never received an application from you. So that was 2 years wasted, but I feel like everything does happen for a reason. I was like, okay, all right. Lucky for me, my niece had an upcoming appointment in Loma Linda, and my sister had a copy of my application, so it was perfect. Got my copy, went with my niece to her appointment, and I personally delivered my application. Within a couple weeks, they called me and they set up a couple appointments. I met up with the doctor, and the doctor was informing me of what's the process of everything. So first, the step is my blood type has to match my niece's. I'm an O positive, so that means that I'm universal, and my niece is A positive. I believe that. So I believe so. So definitely knocked that one out of the park. Our blood types were compatible. So after that appointment, they set up for more appointments. Another thing, they do work with you and things like that when it comes to appointments, because where I live, Loma Linda is about an hour and 20 minutes away from me. So they did make sure that they only set up like 2 days of just one day full of doctor's appointments and the other day full of lab work and things like that. I felt like the process was very easy in the beginning. Everything was running smoothly. We had no problems or anything like that. It was more like towards the end where it got a little bit messy and it got just everywhere, and everybody was just annoying me, the nurses, the front desk lady, because they just were not communicating with each other very well. So information was everywhere. Everything, if you wanted to know something, this person would tell you something and the other person would tell you something. So this is when your patience have to kick in. So once I finished that one appointment with that one doctor, I had a full day set up with meeting a lot of different doctors. It's all about, for them, it's a team. It's a handful of doctors that you have to see and a social worker. And at the end, they're the ones who gather up and they decide whether you're good to be a kidney donor or not. That's after all the lab work, making sure you're healthy and stuff. So I met up with the doctors. I even met up with my surgeon and everything went good. They really do want to make sure that you're donating because you're donating out of the kindness of your heart. Even the social worker wants to make sure you're okay. They want to make sure that you're not being forced into doing that, and that was definitely not the case for me. I'm doing it because I absolutely love my niece and she deserves another chance at a better life. So those appointments went very well, and then my next set of appointments were all lab work. Those went good too. I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of blood taken from you all the time. Every time you have an appointment over there at Loma Linda, for some reason they want blood. I'm beginning to think they're vampires. So all that went good. The nurse had told me, okay, we're gonna call you within. They should call you within 3 days to give you an answer whether yes, you're going to be a kidney donor, or no, you're not going to be a kidney donor. One quick thing that I did want to add: everything's paid through the recipient's insurance. I did not have to pay anything at all because my niece's insurance covered everything. So I did not have to worry about that at all. So those 3 days went by and I was waiting for the phone call, and I didn't get a phone call until a week. So once they called me, I got the amazing news and they told me that I am going to be the kidney donor for my niece. I was super excited. I I waited probably another week to tell my niece that I got accepted, and that's because I wanted to wait for Thanksgiving. I wanted my whole family to be together for me to tell them that, yay, I got accepted, we're gonna do it. So it was definitely emotional, and we were all super happy and just crying our asses off. La Isabel merece una vida sin dolor y con mucha paz. Le doy muchas gracias a Dios que me dio la oportunidad para hacer esto para ella. So it definitely was a process, and like I said, bring your patients with you, you know, when you go to these appointments and things like that. I do advise you to really pay attention to what everybody's saying, because like I said, they don't really communicate well with each other. So if you ask somebody a specific thing, that way they know what you're talking about, because sometimes they won't know, they don't have the information that you're looking for because someone else provided that information for you. So that's another thing too. Keep all your paperwork together. What else? Oh, okay. So the surgery should be about 3 hours. It is a pretty easy procedure. When I met with my surgeon, he's amazing. Me and him clicked. He has just such an amazing personality. He really makes you feel comfortable and happy, and so that's great, because it definitely makes me feel good about the surgery, and I do trust him. And I think it's best for you to really like your surgeon, especially since this is my first time having surgery, you know. And so I had a nurse explain to me that the first hour is the doctor's getting prepped, then the second hour I'm getting prepped, they're getting me in the right position and things like that for the surgery, and then the other hour, that's how long the procedure is, so around an hour or so. So it really doesn't take that long. My surgeon said when I wake up from surgery, he said it's going to feel like a bus hit me. That did definitely scare me a bit. And then he's like, the second day it's going to feel like a minivan hit you. And oh my god. So you guys do definitely have to prep yourselves and things like that. A lot of people ask me if I'm nervous. I definitely am nervous, because like I said, it is my first time getting surgery, but I know it's going to be all worthwhile. Like I said, my niece deserves a second chance with a better life. And we're super excited. We're ready. Another thing, I'm definitely going to be keeping everybody updated with more videos. I'm going to have my older niece record me and my other niece during the whole hospital thing. And then after the hospital thing, I'm also going to be recording mine and my niece's recovery to see if we're recovering good, because my niece, those videos that she's watched, she said that some of the girls did not have a smooth recovery. They did have infections and things like that, but that's because they didn't take care of themselves really good. This is a very serious surgery, and you definitely have to take care of yourself, because actually, all my doctor said, because I'm going to have one kidney, I am limited to certain things. You know, I cannot be drinking alcohol, crazy, don't be eating a lot of fast food. Definitely take care of your body, because everything your whatever gets processed through your kidney. So, you know, your kidney's the one that cleans everything out. I think so. I'm not a doctor, guys, but I think so. I think that's about right. Another thing, everything that I'm saying might be different for you if you're going through the same thing. Every clinic and things like that, they all say different things. So, and they also give different information. So yeah, we're definitely ready for surgery, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll definitely see you on the next one. Bye.